Afternoon, everybody, dear journalists, our dear audience. We are here today to present the initiative called Reform Should Be Real. For the next 25 minutes, our speakers presenting the current government, the current cabinet of ministers, our community will try to answer 5 main questions: who we are, why we are here, why now, is it possible to join us, and what are we, how to do it, and what are we going to do. Our first speaker is Mustafa Nayyem, MP, the representative of the group Euro Optimist. Mustafa, you have 2 minutes. I had this hint, I just came from the government and we had the same rules there. Okay, let's do it simple. You've seen a lot of teams who are joining in all the corners of our country, who we are and why we are here. We understand that now there is a crisis, parliament crisis, government crisis, and it's not about the surnames, it's about our vision of the country. And we are here now to present our own vision of the country in 7-10 years. We have concrete plan, what do we want to do. We've got experience of parliamentary work, of work in the government, we know how to do it. And at last, we had a talk how we want to do it. Here you can see deputy minister, parliamentaries, MPs, that's the new generation we all were talking about for a long time. And at last we are here and we want to propose everybody who can see us to join our vision. Not the team, not the person, not the personalists, not the mottos, but the concrete vision. Now our colleagues, next speakers, will tell about others, different things, different aspects of the reforms we can see, and everybody who can join it, propose their own plan or how to make this plan better. You can join manifest that was published 1 week ago. How to do it, you can find it in internet. The main idea is to talk about vision, program, and real things, not just some mottos, breaking some lists, some surnames or parties they don't exist yet. This is our initiative, and we ask everybody who wants to change something and to change it for real, not just to talk about it. These people behind my back are achieving results today. They realizing the programs they propose, some of them in the government, some of them in the parliament, and I hope one day we can be joined in one team that really can achieve all the plan we proposed. Thank you. Who is the next speaker? Our next speaker is Maxim Nefedov. He is a representative of the cabinet of minister, deputy minister. To reflect that idea that the reforms should be real. They are not real now. You have 3 minutes. Many out of them, including me, came to the state service just recently, and we have fresh vision on what's going on. As for me, many processes that happen in our country now, reforms as well, are not reforms. This is just slow, careful, and complicated, painful process of some game using any management conditions, standards for business, and without precise goal we want to achieve. We are not very good with consensus. What do we want to see in Ukraine in a few years? Even in sometimes we can see this consensus in government, parliament, or president documents. After that, it's forgotten very quickly, and after that, again and again, there are a lot of tactic issues to be solved first. All the time, we are dealing with tactic issues, not with strategy. All the time, we're dealing with some issues when there is a pain on the left, pain on the right. That's what I'm calling death from 1,000 injuries. We are not moving forward. We are trying not to go back, at least, and that's what we propose, a new way to restore the trust. Trust is very important to take the decision quickly, because if you take the decision during 1 or 2 months long, it's a very good practical reason why these reforms in many cases are not real. And according to my experience, to the experience of all people behind me on this stage, all of us, we know that that it's possible to make effective reforms during 6 months or 1 year, not the dozens of years we've been proposed. That's why we are here to speed up the reforms and make them real. Thank you very much. There are a lot of we. Maybe we need to explain who we are. And that's why I'm asking Viktoriya Voytsitska, MP, to explain why these people are standing here and how we were joined. Thank you. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. You know, everybody of us, when we came to power, we had our plan of actions. Now we are trying to execute it based on the duties, based on our present duties. We were sure it would be easy, especially after revolution, but also we understood that these metastases that all our system is infected, unfortunately still with us, notwithstanding Maidan. That's why we understand everybody has his or her own victory, small victory, being in their place in the cabinet of ministers of Ukraine, in Verkhovna Rada, working as activists. But at the same time, we understand that if everybody of us works separately, the victory won't be so effective and quick as we would like to have it. That's why we joined. Answering Svitlana's question, I want to point out that we joined with the aim to support each other in our initiatives. Now there are representatives of the Cabinet of Ministers, the representatives of Verkhovna Rada, MPs, activists, and all of us are joined around one idea. One idea is in our manifest. As you know, our manifest was published, and it is a vision of Ukraine of 2019. That's exactly what we want, how we want to see our country in 3 years. It's not just our dream, it's concrete goals that we can achieve. We can make normal justice. We can make normal centralization reform. We can influence state economics and make the liberalization of the economics. But at the same time, we understand that around all these reforms, the biggest value should be person. And we understand that only person is the highest value for the state and the highest values for our team. That's why we appeal everybody to join our manifest. Everybody who shares our values, everybody who shares ideas from manifest. It's very easy. Just sign the manifest. In the same way, we are working out on the mechanism based on which you can join our team and work together on concrete directions of the reforms declared in this manifest. Because we want reforms to be made, because we want reforms to be real, as we know that reforms should be real. Thank you. Thank you, and now I give the floor to Volodymyr Emelian. He is representative of the Ministry of Infrastructure. And he will tell us about our next steps. Thank you, Svitlana. Good day, everybody. Every power is transparency, consistency, and trust. Our main goal is the following. All of us, we did a lot. All of us, we are helping with our work. We are lobbying some laws. We accepted already some rules. The country can work, but now the key question is new people, new men and lists that will allow us to make, not to have old content in our new work. I'm sincerely sure that fence we have in front of us can be jumped over. And now for us, we just need to put some content into this idea, because everything depends on how quickly we will move all the stages. what image are we going to make and what image are we going to implement? It is a strategy of country development. The Ministry of Infrastructure can't work separately from the Ministry of Economics and Ministry of Education. It should be one unique single reform for all the authorities of the power. It can't be just in Donbass, in Crimea, or in the Carpathians. The most important is the result. All the rest are just peanuts. We understand these people won't be Superman or true Arya people, but we understand that if people can do their work, they move forward. If they don't, during 1 month, this person should be changed, not depending his party, flags, or all other signs. We believe in our force, and we need only one thing: support of the community. Thank you. And it's very symbolic that our initiative is born in Ukraine Crisis Media Center, because it's a symbol that our country is still in crisis. And now the summary will be given by Andriy Dligach, who will tell us about the chances to overcome this crisis. Thank you, Svitlana, just 4 words. And I hope that with these 4 words we can solve this crisis, but not with technical steps, but with the strategy. First one is strategy. We need to go from point reforms to integral reforms that change and modernize country as a whole. Second is responsibility. We are not talking just about programs or strategies. We are talking about readiness to take the execution of this program, strategy, and realization of this program to ourselves. The composition of the team is the closest program of our union. That is a program and teams that will be formed together. The teams that will be responsible for the first execution of the vision of Ukraine 2019 and should be born honestly, transparently, and with actions plan. We need to go from the practice to discuss programs separately and new phases separately. Let's move into integral approach. And at last, consensus, not compromise, is the base of our action. Consensus in taking the decisions, consensus, not the refusal to make some important decisions because other interests or compromises are involved. Strategy, responsibility, consensus, and honesty. These are 4 main words, and with these 4 main words, we are going to execute our vision of Ukraine 2019.
Thank you. We are open to your questions. Are there any questions or clarifications regarding what you've heard from the speakers? Please take the mic and introduce yourself. Sergey Melnichuk, Civil TV station. I'm sorry, my question. This is not the first gathering of this kind, and Saakashvili maybe is enough. No, it's not true. Nobody prevents Mr. Saakashvili to join us. And we start with this. Let's not talk about the proportional measure. Are you indifferent to when somebody betrays you or does something useful for you? What is more important, some slogan, some banner, or some specific deeds? This manifesto actually makes us or forces us to do something different ways, like as before. And we would like to unite around some of the slogans, banners, flags, or names. That was the correct things to do. That's why we would like to have the open, transparent platforms. There are no negotiations or agreements between the groups or between ourselves. Anybody who would like to join us, you're welcome. We are prepared to support our ideas, which was here, and join us. We are open, I believe that Mr. Saakashvili or Democratic Alliance or somebody else, we go parallel to each other. Sometimes we have to unite our efforts, join our efforts, but not around some names or slogans. We have some ideas. We need a program. We can compete in our programs, and we are prepared to join the initiatives that they are better, more consolidated than ours. Now we are one team. It is going to be a public organization, maybe a political party. At this point of time, this is an initiative which can grow into the civil initiative. I suggest that those who actually were not talking here answer the question. Very briefly, you said that there were a lot of similar gatherings. No, this is a unique gathering. We didn't have anything like that before. When the representatives of cabinet ministers or parliament or the civil society or business, they were united not by situation, but by some values. If you do not, somebody does not understand, it took us a lot of pains to give birth to this association. Another very important thing, there is certain high level of trust between the people who are standing on this stage here together with us. That means that each of us can rely upon expertise, experience, knowledge of each and every one in the sphere which this or another person is going to take care of. This is a great difference between us and the other people. And we united not around one idea, but around a group of people. We united around values, and we understand that we have to move quickly. We have not seen any horizon for more than 2 years now. Thank you. Vladimir Emelian, he actually applied for resigned together, and Ms. Tatiana, you also send in the application about your resignation. So what is going to happen if more people are going to resign soon? There are already a lot of people who resigned. Actually, we were talking about responsibility. And those people who resigned, and as you can see, they will continue to actively work because this is their responsibility. At this point of time, they are members of the government. Their knowledge, their skills, their experience, which unfortunately we still cannot see in many young people. This is the way our country functions, that those who can be involved, there are just a few of those who are involved. Their experience could be very important. In any case, whether they be members of the government or they will do through some kind of this association, will give specificity to specific reform, to a specific road we are going to embark upon. And it's not necessary to be members of the parliament or the government, but the experience we accumulated through our work in the government or in the parliament is a key experience to understand how those processes can be changed. Next question, please. My name is Ivanna. I'm representative of the mass media Maidan. My question is to Mr. Klymenko. If everybody is going to leave, who is going to remain? In short, yes, a lot of new appears, but again, if we're talking about the skilled personnel, they should not leave like that. First of all, we are not living anywhere. And number two, we are not going to die. We are young and healthy people. We are going to continue to work. As my colleague mentioned, whether we are members of the parliament or the government or have more time for the civil work, nothing is going to change because we understand only well what and how it is going to be changed. Our experience remains with us. We are going to work until we are able to pass over our reforms and our let's say what we start to do to somebody else, but we are going to work even after that day for the sake of Ukraine and for its flourishing. And maybe it is going to be faster than in 2012. Speaking about Ivars, Ivars is a political figure. Please understand that. And politics and the civil work are two different things. If Ivars would like to join us, it would be our pleasure to give him this chance. Any other questions or clarifications? Dmitry Romanovich, my question is, what would be the nearest, or let's say the next first steps? Maybe one more question, because we plan to finish our input after that. So, what feedback you expect from the public at large? Very quickly about our plan. The first thing we are going to do, the technocratic, not political, not party-based, not partisan platform. We are going to start that project next week. We are going to inform you about the formation of this team and their program. Thank you. This also refers to the feedback and the nearest plan of actions. Mechanism of joining the civil association. We have all the mechanisms to join the manifesto, which has been already introduced. In the near future. We're going to work and tell you how you can join the practical activities of our association in different sectors involved in this area. This brings us to the close of our press conference. In the end, I would like to say we would like to support one of our colleagues who is a member of our association. According to information from her, there was an attempt at her life. Somebody actually threw the Molotov cocktail at her house. In her house, I'm talking about Viktoriya Voytsitska from Samopomich Association. Would like to voice now solidarity with this person, and we call upon the complete investigation and punishment of all those who are guilty of this crime. As for our next steps, we are going to inform you publicly about that, and thank you very much for your attention.
Ну, теперь заживем, да, наверное, Валерий Юрьевич?
Поговорим, чтобы нам все-таки экономический и банковский день, чтобы мы все-таки сделали.